Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, now that Black Americans are traveling more and learning more about the world, they're discovering things that most of us would not even think about. We don't really think about what people think about us. The British man who made that video the other day that y'all really watched and liked said that Americans don't really think about other people. Americans don't think about what other people think about them and frankly don't care. Now this was a white man speaking mostly about white Americans, but the same is true for black Americans. We are so busy trying to order our own lives and trying to get what we feel like we deserve out of life that we don't really have time to think about and definitely not worry about what other people think, not other white people or other black people or other anybody else. But it appears that people have us on their minds and then they'll turn around and try to gaslight us and say we have them on our minds when in fact we really don't because we have our hands full over here taking care of things that strictly concern us. So this young man was in the UK, and just like most black Americans, he wasn't thinking much about what people think about us. And he made an interesting discovery. And I want you to listen to what he said and see if you agree with him based on what you think or based on your experience. He says that Black Brits are extremely jealous of Black Americans. Now, we don't know why that would be the case, but that's what he determined after dealing with them. So, check it out and see if you agree with him.
So I just got done watching this live of this black British girl talking about how black Americans, we think that we're superior over all black people and that we don't even realize that in their land, there's people who came during Windrush, which is when a bunch of Caribbean people came to the UK to work for their oppressor. And that there's people who came during that time who are getting sent back to the Caribbean and that we don't understand our privilege. And it made me realize where all this like online friction between a lot of black British people towards black Americans coming from. It's coming down to jealousy. I try to tell everybody the difference between black British people and black Americans is that black British people have an immigrant story. They have an immigrant background. Whereas in America, black Americans, we're not looked at as foreign. When somebody asks you if you're a black American where you're from and you say Chicago, that person who's not black is going to say, oh, okay, cool. My cousin's from there. My aunt's from there. But over there in the UK, when they're asked where you're from, they always get hit with, no, where are you really from? Because they're not welcomed in this country that they defend so hard. So again, I put this anger towards jealousy because it's displaced anger. Because once again, the reason why black Americans are looking at black British people crazy about y'all making jokes about running from getting your ass beat over a soccer game and that we don't get your humor is because you'll never see black Americans joking like that. Because if that actually would happen in real life, we pull out folding chairs. We pull out them bows. You know what I'm saying? But this is what happens when you have a lack of community. Instead of coming towards black Americans, you need to build community towards yourselves. But y'all don't have it because, first of all, y'all have your own issues, such as Caribbeans versus Africans. I said this all stems down to jealousy because once again, the one thing traveling overseas I had realized is that black Americans really are the face of black people globally. I mean, in the UK, they just had the Wireless Fest where almost 90% of the acts were from America. Most of the audience were black British people. This comes down to community. See, in America, you can have all these type of black American type of celebrities because we have something called community. In the UK, you have to look a certain type of way if you want to be black and seen out there. You have to be mixed, you might have to be light-skinned, or you have to talk in a certain way that best makes the population of UK comfortable. See, in America, you can have a SZA, a Summer Walker, a Money Long, a Coco Jones, you know, dark-skinned girls who sell music and are out there in the mainstream. But out in the UK, they don't have that. because they don't have community. Instead of creating diaspora wars, because that's really what y'all create, put all that energy into fighting back and creating something for yourself in a country where y'all went to, where these are the same people who oppressed you in the first place. No, and that's the thing I have an issue too with black British people is that y'all will say black Americans think they're this, Americans think they're that, they think they're better. How is that when y'all, the first thing y'all love to scream on this app is that, oh, we know where we're from. But once again, because I need to make sure this bubble is broken, if you are a black British Caribbean person or that comes from Caribbean descent, you do not know where you come from. For example, if you're from Jamaica, if that's where your grandparents or your great grandparents are from, England, they named you who you were. They named what your country is called. They put you on a ship to go work out there and go dig up some sugar cane so they could be rich and live in castles. So how do you know where you come from when people put you on a ship and sent you to a place that you claim you come from? You're not from there. You're from somewhere else. You just don't know where that ship came from.
Okay, so this is the same old that black Americans encounter when they go abroad trying to interact with other black people. They are not able to accept you for who you are. They're trying to put you in a box, and I talk about this quite a bit on this channel. People wanting to put us in a box. That goes for white people, it goes for black people, it goes for anybody who comes into contact with us because number one, they don't know American history. They don't know our role in this empire. They don't know how important and foundational we are to the American story. There is no American story without us. And he's right when he says that the Black Brits are immigrants to the UK. We're not immigrants to the United States. People keep trying to make us be immigrants. We did not migrate here. We were brought here. And some said they were already here, and I am not going to have that discussion. But some of us were brought here because the building of this country began when the white people came with the enslaved people. The building of the empire that we call America. Now, I don't know what it was before it was America. They were saying it was called Turtle Island. I don't know what the culture, the language, the traditions, or customs of Turtle Island were. What I know is the American Empire. And we built this when the white people came and forced us here. Okay, so he's right. We are not immigrants to the United States. We are foundational to the United States. And I do like that word because we were here before it was the United States. We were here before most of these white people who are running around here talking about we built the country, y'all need to go back to Africa. They sound like fools. They really do. So there's nothing we can do about the disconnect between ourselves and other black people. They're trying to make us all be the same, or they're trying to make us find some place in Africa that we don't belong to and nobody's claiming us. And so we have to stand on the square that we stand on. Now, I don't know if it's jealousy or not. It's definitely a misunderstanding and a refusal for people to accept Black American people for what we are and for who we are. And see, that's why the delineation, I think, why the younger generation saw the necessity for the delineation. Because I promise y'all, and some of y'all don't believe me when I say this, but it's really true. A lot of these people that are being deported out of here now I hear they got 250,000 Somalis. I think it's 250,000. They got a bunch of Nigerians that they're gearing up to deport out of here. They really thought we were going to be the first line of deportation. And that's why they went for Trump. Because they thought, well, they got to get the black people first. They're the ones that they really want out of here. They can't do that because we are in the Constitution. People do not realize, and even we don't know. I keep learning more and more about the Constitution, how deeply embedded we are in the Constitution. And a lot of those laws were made to try to keep black people on those plantations and taking their labor. That's what it was all about. It was all about economics, about money. One of the problems that I have found with the blacks in the diaspora is that they don't learn. Their minds are so colonized, they don't know how to multitask and process new knowledge. They have a mindset of how they think things are, and they don't know how to process otherwise. And that is a problem. That's a part of the reason why the Africans have given a whole continent away, but they'll come over here trying to compete with us, and they can't because their agency is in Africa, not in America. But anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about this. Do you think this young man is right? Do you agree with him? And if you will, share your experience with this kind of conversation with black people from other parts of the world or in your travels. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.